VUULR is in the business of show business, not the glitz and glamour, but where the money gets made. And so the sector that we're addressing is the fact that broadcasters, that means the free-to-air guys, the pay TV guys, and the OTTs like Netflix and Amazon, spend $240 billion a year buying the rights to films and TV shows so that they can show it to their audience.
So what problem are you solving? I mean, people are already buying content and entertainment, right?
Yeah. Well, there's a few problems that we're solving and packaged all together into one. But mainly it's to do with two aspects. One is the friction of the transaction. At the moment, that process is done offline. It often starts at a trade event, people standing on a booth talking to each other, followed up by sales presentations and brochures. And it takes 3 to 6 months. And there's an army of middlemen in the industry that take a 30 to 40% cut of the value. So it's expensive and it's slow and it's very labor intensive.
Why haven't that been addressed, or someone hasn't like solved that problem?
Well, a number of reasons. One of which is that the industry has been very profitable for a long time. And it's not until the pervasive internet and mobile phone and the OTTs have changed the business model. And now there's pressure on the industry to be more efficient before they didn't need to.
Why can you guys do that?
Well, we bring a combination of a team who come from the content industry. So we've got a number of people working with us who used to be with the Walt Disney Company and others, as well as people who come from a digital marketing background. So really, it takes a cross-functional team to see the opportunities to transform this. Now, there's another business problem that we're solving, which is that when we as an audience fire up our TV and we're looking at it, trying to figure out what to watch, we're looking at the on-screen program guide. And that shows us what in the industry we call metadata. It's the name of the film, the synopsis, the cast, the producers, the year of release, all of that information. Now, strangely, there's no source in the industry for that. And if you're a regional broadcaster or a global one, then you need that for every episode in the series, and you need it in every language that you operate. And if you're Netflix, you're operating in more than 30 or 40 different languages. So this is a huge business problem for them.
So this is more indexing content, putting metadata and tagging it so that people can continue to reuse it, or?
Yeah, that's right. And we're building a platform where we're going to build a community of people. There are lots of people who are very ardent fans of TV shows and films. And we're going to invite them to come and participate on our metadata platform to create the metadata.
To contribute.
To contribute, that's right. To contribute their knowledge, to refine it, to make it better and better, and then to translate it, so that all the information that you need about that film is there in all the languages, whether it's Japanese, Korean, English, French, German, Spanish, Chinese, Thai. It needs to be available in all the languages. So our metadata platform will be creating that metadata, which will be very valuable for the broadcasters. And it gives us an ability to invite members of the public who are buying tokens to come and participate. And by parking the tokens in our parking lot, they'll get an accelerated distribution of the rewards program that we have for our participants.
So that's what makes it unique.
Yeah.
Right? When you combine that with a token where you contribute and you get rewarded.
Yes, that's right. So the three key elements are the marketplace, which makes it very easy for the content owner and the broadcaster to transact. The metadata platform, which solves a gap, something that doesn't exist. And then a supply chain built on top of the blockchain to give the industry a common platform, a single shared version of the truth of what the availability is for titles, the metadata, and in fact a unique identifier.
Is this a nice to have, or is it a must have? And so I assume, like, when you talk about it, the industry is still happy with the status quo, or there's pressure right now on, and what kind of pressure is that? Cost reduction or more intelligence, or?
So is it a nice to have? No. The industry is manual at the moment, and it's slow and expensive to transact. And if you talk to the people who are in the business of making content and who need to monetize that content, and by selling rights to their front catalog, meaning this year's content, and their back catalog, which means next year, the previous years, they need to have a better way to do that. And many other industries, whether it's the consumer packaged goods industry, when you buy toothpaste in the supermarket, there's a sophisticated supply chain that makes sure that that's there for you when you want to buy it. In the book industry, there's an ISBN number and a supply chain there. That doesn't yet exist for the TV shows, for the film industry. That's what we're building and delivering for the industry.
Is this a regional thing or is this a global thing?
Global. Content is a global business.
Then shouldn't you be close to where content is created? Like, should you be in Hollywood or California rather than Singapore? I'm actually...
Yeah. Well, we already have a footprint in Hollywood, but the vision is that we will be building out offices in each of the, what you might call, key media capitals. So that would be, yes, one in Hollywood, in LA, one in Mumbai, one in Singapore for Southeast Asia and North Asia, one in London for Europe, Middle East and Africa, and one in Beijing for the big China market.
So you need to have a global footprint.
Yep.
And that's to be close to where the content is consumed or where content is created?
Both the buy side and the sell side. So in each of those areas, there's a concentration both of the businesses that are in the business of making content and businesses that are in the business of buying and showing the content.
So with the capital that you raised this time, so you're building out more of these regional footprints or building out when is your product going to be ready?
We have a demonstration ready to show. That will be an MVP for the ingestion of content within a month. And we will be ready to take on board buyers and transact by the end of Q3, early Q4.
And would this be for long tail, or would it be like a fat head? Would it be for like these Hollywood mega content, or are you talking about the long tail?
Well, let's remember that there are two tails. There's the product there's a product catalog tail. So certainly, in major marketplaces, I think our key value add, at least at the start, will be to monetize the long tail. But you also remember that there's a tail of customers. There are many broadcasters in some of the smaller countries and smaller economies that at the moment don't get any attention from the big content creators. And so for them, we will sell the whole tail from this year's blockbuster Hollywood movie down to 5-year-old content.
Can these be for user-generated content as well, or is it more of like professional grade content?
It's hard to draw the line because there is some user content that is very professionally produced. But effectively, the way we're going to guide it is if a broadcaster is willing to pay reasonable sums of money for exclusive rights for that content, then we'll have it on the platform. So certainly, yes, for the professionally created, but also yes for the new independent film producers, TV content producers,
of course,
who can produce great content. Maybe kids coming out of film school with the creativity, with the craft, their first production. We can give those guys access to distribution and the first rung on the ladder for their career.
That would be great, right? For aspiring filmmakers or content creators, where you guys can be that first platform to be that distribution and also to monetize.
Correct. Next generation of a Spielberg or a Cameron could get their first big break on our platform.
Wow, that's exciting.